Good morning, Year 7. Today we're looking at power and different types of government. We're actually going to be thinking about power in Tempest, but about power in today's world. The picture here is the Lincoln Memorial. It's a vast statue of Abraham Lincoln, who's the 16th President of the United States. You can see how big that is if you look at the policeman in front of it. In today's lesson, we're going to look at words that describe different ways in which countries are ruled or governed. You will then choose a research project, either finding out about some countries or finding information about a ruler and then writing a short biography. So please get out your Tempest folder or books and write down the title and date. The title is Types of Government. Look at the spelling of the word government, there's an N in it, government. And the date is Wednesday, the 8th of July, 2020. Please underline your titles and the date. Power and control, ways of ruling countries. Power and control are key ideas that Shakespeare explores in The Tempest. We have looked at how Prospero had total power and had a choice as to how to use it. Fortunately, he decided to be forgiving. When Prospero was Duke of Milan, he was too busy studying magical arts to rule his dukedom, so he neglected his responsibility of governing and left it to his brother Antonio, who then stole the dukedom and took control. In another subplot in the play, Antonio persuades Sebastian to kill his sleeping brother, Alonso, the King of Naples, and Gonzalo, so they could steal the throne. Luckily, Ariel wakes them up before they are stabbed to death. These examples suggest that in their desire to have power, people will commit awful crimes, showing how power can change people. There is a famous phrase, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, meaning the more power you have, the more likely it will change you in bad ways. History is full of powerful rulers who can be very savage and tyrannical, and unfortunately, it is still the same today in many countries. Word power. Many of the words we use to describe different systems of government come from ancient Greece or Rome, where they spoke Latin. Study the words and meanings below. Do you recognise any? So, demos. This is a Greek prefix. A prefix is a word, a bit of a word that starts a word. And demos means of the people, and we can see that in democracy or democratic. Tyrannos, another Greek prefix. It means absolute ruler. We have it in tyrant and in the dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex, which was king of the dinosaurs, the most powerful of all dinosaurs. Oligo, another Greek prefix, means few, and we have the word oligarchy. You'll find out more about that later. Okay, archy and crassy. These are suffixes, i.e. they go at the end of a word, and they come from the Greek language. So archy or crassy means a type of rule or government, monarchy, hierarchy, democracy. So we use these words archy and crassy a lot. Dictere. This comes from the Latin and it's a prefix. To say often, to order, and we see that in a dictator or dictatorship. An or a. These are prefixes from the Greek. They go in front of a word. Not, without, lacking is what they mean. Anarchy, atheist. An atheist is someone who doesn't believe in God. So atheist, no God. Theos, Greek prefix, God, and there we go, atheist, theology. Theology is the study of gods or religion. So here we have Greek and Roman words which we have used to make English words, and these words are to do with different types of power or systems of government. So activity 1, words for types of government. Copy the words below and see if you can work out the definition using the table on the last slide that we've just discussed. Write out your definition. I suggest you use a pencil in case you need to make corrections later. So can you work out the meaning of democracy? So demos means people, crassy means system of government. So write down what you think that means. Similarly, tyranny, oligarchy, dictatorship, anarchy, theocracy. So have a go at that. Use the table before to help you work it out. So pause the video and do that work. Did you get it right? Here are the answers. So look at the answers below to see how close you were to the definition. Correct and add to your answers as necessary. Democracy is a system of government by the people who elect representatives to run the country on their behalf. So that's of the people, power to the people. Demos is people, so the people choose who run the government on their behalf. Tyranny, government by a ruler or a small group of people who have unlimited power over the people, and they often use it unfairly or cruelly. Oligarchy, government by a small group of powerful people. Remember the word oligarch? Oligo means a few, so that's means government by a few. Dictatorship, a country or state ruled by one person, a dictator, who has complete power and has not been elected. Anarchy, this is a state with no government or laws, where the individual has absolute freedom. So we've got the word "an" there as a prefix saying that there is no government. Theocracy, a system of government in which priests rule in the name of God or a religion. So pause the video, look at your answers, add, change, do what you need to do so you've got the right answers in your book. Right, activity 2, this is a quick one. On the right is a pictogram that shows how many people are involved in the different styles of government. So have a look at it. Democracy, ruled by many. Oligarchy, ruled by a few. Dictatorship, ruled by one. And also monarchy, ruled by one. Anarchy, no one rules. Which style of government do you think is best? In your books or your folder, write down a short paragraph giving your choice and explain why you prefer this style of government, why you think this is a good style of government. So pause the video and complete that activity. This is a picture in a very good magazine, respected magazine called The Economist, and this is a map of the world showing how democratic or undemocratic countries are. So you'll not be surprised to learn that how countries are governed is really complicated. Lots of countries call themselves democracies as they have elections, but the elections can be rigged and really unfair, or there's no true opposition, like in Russia. Some countries are one-party states, like China, where the people don't have a true choice. Other countries are a mixture. The UK is a constitutional monarchy, which means it has a monarchy but is also a democracy. The hereditary king or queen is the head of state, but they do not make any political decisions. That is the job of the people in Parliament, the elected politicians in the House of Commons, and the unelected ones in the House of Lords. So the map opposite charts how truly democratic a country is or isn't. An authoritarian regime means there is a dictator or small group of people in charge. So everything in red is got a dictator is an oligarchy or dictatorship or a monarchy, but you've got very few people ruling the country, and quite often there aren't elections, or if they are, they're not very fair elections. The countries in green are democratic countries, and the darker the green, the more democratic that country is. Okay, activity 3. So this is research. Your last activity of today's lesson is to do some research. Either find out which countries are democracies, oligarchies, etc. in today's world and create a list. So the instructions for that are in slide 10. Or find out about the life of a ruler and write a short biography of them. And I will give you a list of rulers to choose from. So see slide 11. So if you're going to do the systems of government, your subtitle is Systems of Government 2020. So write down the following systems of government and then create a list for each style of rule by researching online. Adding 2020 to your search should get you the information immediately. So which countries are democracies? Again, you could look at the map we've just looked at. You could go online and look it up. And perhaps list 3, 4, 5, 10 countries, however ambitious you feel. Similarly, look up the word oligarchies 2020 and find out which countries are ruled by a few people. Look up dictatorships 2020 and that will give you a list of countries run by one person. Theocracies. Look up Theocracy 2020, and that will give you a list. I found 3. Republics. I haven't mentioned the word republics. This is another form of democracy, but it's a democracy without a king or queen. So look up Republics 2020 and you'll find your list there. Alternatively, you're going to look at specific people who are rulers and have had great influence. So influential rulers, that's your subtitle. Choose one of the rulers on the list below and look up some information about them. You will then write a short biography in your own words, no more than 2 paragraphs. Also, no copying and pasting, please. Your biggest challenge will be finding information that is easy to understand. Wikipedia has too much information for our purposes. Instead, add Key Stage 3, KS3, or bite size to the ruler's name, and that should help you find a shorter overview. So choose one of the following people. Queen Elizabeth I, Abraham Lincoln, who's an American. I can't pronounce his first name, but Nehru, he was an Indian Prime Minister. Nelson Mandela, who was the South African Prime Minister. Margaret Thatcher, first female Prime Minister of Britain. Jacinda Ardern, she's the current Prime Minister of New Zealand. Mikhail Gorbachev, he was a very important President of Russia. Benazir Bhutto, who was Prime Minister of Pakistan, or George Washington, who was the very first President of the United States. So choose one of those people. So we've got a range of people. The only one still alive or still ruling is Jacinda Ardern. And so look up one of those and write me a couple of paragraphs. I hope you enjoyed doing this work. Thank you very much.